What's up, everybody? How you doing today? So I kind of hit you with a surprise live today, and this is not like our regular show or anything like that. And what's up, everybody? How are you? All right, so here is what's going on, and I want to give you some context. So last night I posted about a um, memorial kind of project that I'm doing, and you guys know um, that I am trying to get this year to be kind of an ending of the chapter for me and my family. And I realized that that didn't have a lot of context, but there's a lot of reasoning why I need to just talk to you about it rather than just make a post about it. And I understand that. So let's start here. Number one, I was supposed to do a memorial. I don't know why my name is on the screen, you guys. I don't know. Oh, come on. Okay. So last year I had planned on having the memorial after all the trials, and it was horrible waiting because in that time you're basically feel like your schedule is no longer yours and you don't have the option to just kind of put everybody to rest. I realized that the complexity of how I feel is that I have three people that I am mourning, and then I've tried to explain this best I can, but I'm mourning Tammy in my own way as well. And it's just the hurt that I see in her family and knowing what it feels like and knowing that she got taken from her kids and her grandkids. But I can't put it off anymore. And I'm just gonna be super raw and real with you guys. There's a part of me that never really wants to do it. I don't know why. It's just really hard, man. It's really freaking hard. And it's just like once that reality happens, it really is like it's a fear of the moment, and it's been so long that it's almost easier to go on in life without ever having a memorial. um I've spent the last few years thinking about it constantly. I talk to people about it. I plan it out. I think about where it should be. I've called venues. I've thought about how to commemorate them and how to just every little detail, and how to get people to speak. And it's just like, you know, a million thoughts about my family. They deserve this to be honored, but also I think memorials are for the people who are still alive. And so I'm bringing this up because, like I said, I posted it last night, and then I realized that there just wasn't a lot of context, so I'd rather just give it to you. But I also want you to understand why it is in 2026 when this happened in technically 2019, um, and then I found out in 2020, and so did everyone else. For the last 6 years since I found out, oh my gosh, I have dreaded having a memorial. Just dreaded it. And I just because it's all you open the door to the pain again, and you acknowledge that it's reality. And that's gonna be a tough one, man. So strap in, because if I cry, I'm just gonna let it cry. I'm just gonna let it happen. I don't care. Back in 2023, I got Tylee and JJ's ashes. And when you get a box with your family member turned into dust, essentially, and you're holding what was once them, and it's just this black box with a label of their name on it. I don't even know how to explain that. I'm sure you guys know who have done that. My biggest goal was to never rebury my siblings. I never wanted them to be reburied. They were buried horribly, tragically sick. They were thrown away like garbage, and I just couldn't stand the thought of not cremating them. I just couldn't. The thought of putting them back in the ground after that was just wrong. Just wrong. And so I've spent the last few years contemplating how to do everything. And I'm not someone who wants, and this is going to sound crazy, but it's just reality. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from on this, but I can't even keep their ashes. I just can't. There's something about knowing that box and having a memory of talking and hugging and loving a person, and then you see this box and that is what's left of them. For me personally, I can't do it. So my goal is always to do an ash spreading at the end of it all. The memorial is for everyone who didn't get the chance to grieve. We were our loved ones were just stolen, murdered, hidden. The only person we all knew who was murdered right away was Charles, and even then, Lori did nothing about that. There was no memorial like she promised everybody. She even promised me we were going to have a memorial. That never happened. So I feel like I've had everything in this realm stolen. And this was the one thing that I've had the ability to say something about, is to say goodbye to them in a way that honors them, and that we don't look at them like a victim. We don't look at them like they're just, you know, Lori's kids, but they're Tylee, they're JJ, and they're Charles. But trying to do a memorial for 3 people, it brings such a pain to my heart. It just does. It's just everybody, man. It's your whole family, and you got to say goodbye. And I know they're not here, and I know that those boxes of them, their ashes are not them. That I know they're in heaven. Like, I can accept that fact. But the memorial, I think, is part of the chapter closing. I am working on projects to honor my family in a way, like I've told you guys, that are media projects that are something that can create an understanding for you guys what it was like. But outside of that, the project that I was referring to is doing some things that can be more permanent for the memorial, and some things that I want to do in the city of Phoenix in Arizona. And that's kind of what I was referring to. And I never ever want to ask you guys for anything ever. I just don't. I don't ever want you to ever feel obligated or anything to me. I just was in that moment. I was just thinking, I know people want to be a part of this. And so one of my biggest schools of thought has always been um possibly doing a stream. I really want it to not be the thing I never wanted it to be was to be a show, because it's not. But streaming it for you guys is always where my mind has gone. It's like there are people who really do care, and I want those people to be able to be a part of it. So I've gone back and forth, and I just want you guys to know I'm just trying to be super real with you. And so anyway, let's go back a little bit and go to 25. I'm like right in that time, I'm thinking to myself, this is exactly how I thought. I thought we're gonna have these trials. We knew Brandon's was coming up, and I'm like, this is it. 25 is the year. We're gonna end these trials. Lori's gonna get convicted, and after it's all said and done, everybody gets to just say goodbye, and everybody gets to just close the door. And I had my stroke before I even got there, and that changed my life. And it's just sad to say that it did, because I don't like thank the Lord that I didn't have a real stroke that caused more damage. But I think it just stripped me of, I don't know. I think it stripped me of everything I had left. It just stripped me, man. Now I'm fearful of sleeping. I'm fearful that something's going to happen. And now I feel like my timeline has been accelerated, because it's like if my health is bad and something happens and I never did that, there's something about me that just doesn't feel right about it. And I know I've been putting it off. And there's parts of me that I'm so hard on myself in that way. I'm like, man, this is something you can't, put off. It's been years and years. And there's people I want to all of us close the book, and I think a memorial, again, is for the living. It's for the people here to accept it fully. And then the other part of me is like, man, I don't ever want to do it. I don't ever want to stand up there and just have to let it all go. I don't know, man. Oh, it's just freaking hard. It is. It's just hard. And to see everybody's faces, to gather people who love them and be there for that reason, it's been easy to not do it. But there's also other legitimate reasons. Like I told everybody around me that we were doing a memorial in 25 before I had all this health issues. And then after that, parts of me has just been fighting to be normal on a regular day. And even the last probably the last 5 days, I've been really symptomatic again. I don't know what's going on with me. Having tons of numbness, and I'm like trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong or not. And anyway, the point being, it's so forefront in my mind that in a part of me has been kind of pushing it back. So here's where I'm at. I want to share it with you in some capacity. It doesn't matter what that looks like. I don't know if I'll stream it, but you guys will see, you will see something, because I feel like there's a part of it that needs to be that closure for the world, and for the people who care. And I don't want it to be a spectacle. I want it to be the way to honor them correctly, and not to be seen as victims, but just be put to rest. That's what they deserve. And so that's where my head's been at. That's the projects. That's one of the projects I'm working on right now, and I want to do it sooner than later. And so last night I was having my I don't know what time I posted that, but it was just on my mind really heavy, like thinking, okay, if I'm having a lot of symptoms and something bad happens and I never got to do this, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. It's like, why am I having FOMO of something I wouldn't necessarily be able to help? Like, would I really be in heaven being like, dang, I never did that? But on earth, I feel that way. I feel this way all the time. I'm just like, there's certain things that you just do that are on your in your back of your mind all the time, like on the back burner, that are important things that you need to get done. And I know it's bigger than me. And it's been, I don't want to say the word selfish, but I feel selfish that I haven't already done it. But after, yeah, after the stroke, I kind of just gave up on a lot of things in a sense, because I was so worried about my family and everything like that. I wanted to be super transparent with you guys, because this community gathered around my family, and you guys have been there for me. And I don't know. I just feel like I could never repay that to you. I also want to try to strengthen the next person who's lost somebody they love, and just let you know it's okay to have mixed emotions. A part of me wishes that we would have just had the memorials right then and there. Just like you lose someone, and it's just the normal thing is you go and you do something in the next few weeks. You know, you lose somebody and you start the grieving process. All kind of happens at once. This has been like, it's like the boogeyman getting bigger and bigger, a snowball rolling down the hill. It's like the more I don't do it, the harder it is to realize that I'm gonna have to do it. And everybody deserves that closure. So again, that's where I'm at right now. And I just can't wait anymore. I don't want it to be 7, 8, 9. I can't push it back. And so I just want you guys to know that that's where I'm at and my heart is. Obviously, like, we're moving forward. We're talking about other things on this channel. We have different discussions about the world, and I don't want the rest of life to only be about sadness, because I think that that's the whole point, is that there's a whole world that needs to know the good side of what it was like to be around JJ and his energy, and what a sweet, beautiful child he was, and Tylee and her heart and her humor, and Charles and how giving he was. And I think he hid behind a lot of that because there is a softness there. You know what I mean? A real softness. And I catch myself all the time thinking little things about my family. I'm like, Tylee would love this. JJ would love this. I wish they were here. Me and Charles would love eating this. Like, it's just so weird how what the things you think you'd miss are all these like parties and events and stuff. And it's like, I don't know why those are the things that make me tear up. Um, this whole community has been built in this tragic place, and I want to keep making it a positive place. And what I want is for, number one, everyone to grieve the way that they need to, and then number two, change the narrative about my family, because they're not just victims. That's not who they were, and that's not what their legacy is. They're not victims. They were people who left a mark on this earth. And then three, I want to empower the next person, because we all lose people we love, and it's just hard. It's a hard reality of life. It just is. There's no way around that. And so, I guess I want to also make it. I guess I've used the fact that this is so public for good, because I have always found the most help when someone's honest and talks about stuff like this. So That's why it is. That's why we talk about it. That's why this whole channel has existed, is to open up about something that was not anybody's choice besides the people who are responsible. We've all had to just react, and it was so public that you have two choices. You either say nothing, or you can try to tell your story and tell their story the best you can. And so that's what I'm trying to do. The project that I'm working on is some of the commemorative pieces that I want to have made that are permanent. So I've thought of a lot of different things. I've looked into some hospital things for Tylee. I've looked into autism. Um, I've looked into foundation, making a foundation. Like you guys, I think about this stuff all the time. I just don't put action behind something I know that I can't make happen right now. I don't want to even say it out loud. And I'm only telling you guys so we're all on the same page here. But I want to help people more than anything on the planet Earth. And that is what this whole life should be about, is helping each other. And so my mind is right now, I want to just start where I can. And this is part of that compartmentalization. I want to say goodbye to them, and then I want people to remember them for who they were, not what happened to them. And that comes with some artwork things, some other ways that I can bring them back in that light and be seen that way. And so that's what I posted last night. If you saw it, if you didn't, I did take it down because I realized there wasn't enough context there. And I never want you guys to think that I'm asking you for anything. I just don't want you to feel that way. I only want you to be here because you want to be here. And I want you to feel loved and taken care of here. And I want to give you everything that I've got, whatever that looks like. I want to give that to you. I mean that. And so that's why I put my heart on the table as much as I can, because sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing enough for you. I don't feel like I'm doing enough for our community. And sometimes I just got to get out of my own way. But this is part of that process. So that is what I wanted to tell you today. I can't wait anymore. I can't put it off. I can't ignore it. I'm not saying that I am. I just have put it on the back burner, and it's honestly become easier to not have to face that, to not have to say goodbye to them, to not have to go through that process. But there's a lot of people that need it. And you know what? I extend that to the police officers. I extend that to the prosecution. I extend that to the FBI agents. They spent years of their life. Like I don't know if we understand what they put into that. Like their life revolved around them. So it's just time for everybody to say goodbye. And it's time for the real story to finally be told. And the hard part about that is that going back is painful. It just is. Because now I can see what I didn't know growing up. And when I go back and I look at the parent that we had, the instability that we had, the emotional wrecks that we were in, the positions we were put in, the abuse we all suffered, and yeah, there's just a lot of things, so there's a lot of pain that goes with all of this. But I'm trying to show you that I'm uncomfortable with it, but at the same time I have to push my own self sometimes to say, even if this is uncomfortable, I'm going to do this for the betterment of others, and hopefully it helps the next person. And just to know that they don't have to feel strong to be strong, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to feel it. It doesn't have to feel good. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to look a certain way. Sometimes it's just, I think courage is not about feeling courageous. I think courage is the opposite. I think courage is something that you do in spite of your feelings. And so I'm trying to be courageous. And I'm not very courageous, but I'm trying. So it's time. It's time for everybody. And I think that letting go will give a lot of people the peace that they need and deserve. And I think that once the story's told correctly, the world will understand what they don't know right now. And I'm just going to say it because you guys know, I've talked about it a lot on this channel. You just don't know the story because no one's told you like life. No one's told you what life was like. No one told you the circumstances, and it's not your fault by any means. It's unfortunate that it's been specifically told a just case focused story. And I get it. I get it now. I don't agree with it, but I get it. So I'm excited to share that with you. I'm excited to share. I've saved all of those videos that I would have made about Tylee and JJ and Charles and our family. I've saved all of those stories for this. I've saved it because there's more context to be said. There's more people to be brought in to tell you more about them. It shouldn't just be me. And so I've saved up so much of that so you could see it the right way. I have a vision for it. I've always had a vision for how it should look. Obviously, I've told you Netflix did not go that way. It is what it is. We move on. But because that happened and because it did not get told the way that I even sat on camera like this and talked about it and went through it, because Netflix didn't use all of those pieces of the family stuff and all the faith stuff and all the real moments and the real stories, that would, if you guys want to know what life was like and how we got where we are, the context of those stories is what would tell you that story. And if you really think you want to know how Lori's mind works, which seems to be the common theme, and I've had the same question, when I go back, these stories and these moments in our lives help me understand a little bit more because there's context. But if you just run through, hey, she tried to be on TV, she tried to do this, and then she went psycho, that's not the story. It's just not. And I realize that now. But in that time, I was so brainwashed to think my mom was a good person and all she ever did was religious stuff. And so there's two ways to go about that. There's Lori's story and who she is, and then there's the entire family unit. She was not the only one. And, same thing with Alex. I couldn't tell you much about Alex. I didn't see him a lot in my life, like at all. So the reality is there's the point of where you don't really know the people who are lost, and that leaves their legacy to just be, as blunt as I can put this, just the victims and the side, whatever the word is, the byproduct of Lori. It's like Lori, and then, well, this is really sad. And I'm not saying people feel this way, but I feel like this is how the media looks. It's like, oh, well, that's really sad that she killed him, but she's crazy. And so it's like hyper focus on her, and it just kind of diminishes the life of the murdered people and their legacies. So, but I'll let you guys know as this is happening what the process is going to look like. I'm going to be doing this. I'm working on it now, and I'm going to be working on it for the next little bit. I want to get this done in the next few months, and I'm kind of putting a fire under my own butt to make it happen. And I think this video helps me because it keeps me really accountable to the fact that I'm doing this. And I think I was honestly really scared to make this video. And I was really scared to post that last night because I don't ever want you to think that I'm asking you for anything, money, anything. I want you to feel and volunteer anything that you do because I want us to be back and forth. I want to give you just as much as you give and whatever that looks like. However I can possibly give you my heart, I want you to have that. And so, but what I said last night in the post, just to address what I said I'm trying to put together a project and a memorial for Tylee and JJ. And I said, if anybody wants to help, I just put some of the links that are in all of my bio stuff. It's in every single one of our community, what is it called? Video descriptions. And it's just some of those links. And I don't ever want you to feel obligated by any means, because the last thing I want to do is ask you for something, So I just want you to know that. Don't ever feel obligated. I don't ever want it to be anything. I'm trying to figure out how to make this happen, and I'm going to be putting in my own everything towards it, just so you know. Not asking you to cover everything or pay for anything. I'm going to be putting in as much as I possibly can to make it all happen, because that's what Tylee and JJ deserve, and that's what Charles deserves. So as I progress through this, I'm going to let you guys know where I'm at. And like I said, you will have something. I will give you, I don't want to promise you something yet because I don't know how it's going to be logistically. I don't know how to feel about that yet. There's so many other pieces of a memorial you have to do, but I promise you one thing, you will get something and you will see it, because I do feel that people who love and care deserve that. I do. And I know, because I feel that same way about people that there's so many people I care about that I've never even actually like met face to face. And you just care and want the best. And I just want to support them in any way possible. And so I know exactly how that feels. And um, yeah. So I appreciate you and love you guys. Thank you for the patience you've shown me. I feel like a lot of the last few years have just been a learning curve for me on everything. And you guys have been so patient, especially though since last summer. I've really like lost a piece of myself, because in that time there's such a high stress and just so worried about everything. And yeah, just like it's just a lot changed after that. I thought it was going to be this like celebration Super Bowl moment after the trials were over and Lori was convicted. And to be 100% honest with you, it just wasn't. It just, the reality just stood. And it's like, okay, this chapter's closed and I feel so much better. And knowing the final result, knowing that she can't get out of jail and this and that. And then you're like, but nothing changed. Like nobody's here still. Everybody's still gone. Like it's just, we're in the same place. And so I think that just, I put a lot of expectation on that. But once I had the strokes, I've been so foggy, and like my brain has just been so different. And I think, I'm just living with that. And I'm not trying to be a victim to that or complain about it. I'm just saying it has been a very different world from, July last year to right now. So it was like April through what, July, around that time, right? Was that July? April, May, June. Yeah, it was all within that time frame. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the patience and the understanding. Go and live your life today. I want to share this last piece of encouragement. You deserve to live your life. And sometimes your circumstances are so hard and you just don't understand why you're even still trying to go. And I just promise you that you've got to, take your time and find a way to give yourself what you need, get what your body needs, and, just take care of you and be grateful, because it can always be worse. It just can. And there was a time where I never thought that was possible, but I realized that we're not weighing things on scales. We're not weighing things on scales and saying, well, my life's worse than yours. And we're not trying to do that. That's not what it is. It's, we all face what we face. We all face our mountains, and we need each other's support. I need your guys' support, and I hope I can give you that right back. I hope you feel love and support, or however I can start to do even more for you guys as a community and just keep you encouraged. I feel like that's the gift I have, if anything, is just to try to help you stay on your feet and stay encouraged. So I'll try to do that as much as possible. But again, this is it. This has got to be that closing of this chapter. And there's just a few things on my list where I think once I do those things, it's not like a checklist, but it just feels like it's not nagging at me anymore. And I can just say, okay, there's some kind of closure here. Closure is not perfect, and closure does not always mean what we think it will. But there's going to be some closure, and I'm going to make that happen this year, as much as I do not want to. So anyway, love you guys. I appreciate you. You are a amazing, beautiful, freaking community. I am blessed and honored to be a part of it. And I cannot believe that this exists on the internet. I usually see 99% negativity. So you guys are the 1% of people who are real, man. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot. I do. Yeah. Love you guys. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.